The opinions expressed on this program are those of program host and guest and are not necessarily those of this station, management, staff, and sponsor. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Crown Car Care Show. Call in with questions and comments, 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Now, here's your host.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, good afternoon.
It's fabulous to be on the radio, and I'd like to introduce myself. And
if you're new to this,
we're going to invite.
Yes,
we're going to invite listeners.
Yes,
stray listeners, stay tuned. My name is Todd Harris, and for I don't know how many years I've done a radio show with Frank here on automotive. We talk about the trends, we talk about history, we talk about the future, we talk about how to fix cars, and we have fun. And people seem to like our show and our format. And if you're new out there, this is my first week. So I haven't done it in a while.
We've taken a little hiatus,
you have to,
but we're back. Yes. Just when you thought it was safe,
you have to go back. You have to do exploring, get more material.
Yes.
Right? I can't tell you where I was at. I was snooping around all the crevices and walls of all the automotive manufacturers and parts manufacturers. I've got the inside line.
You got the inside track.
I do.
You do. Indeed.
I wish I did. It was a dream I had last night, really. So I'm a local business guy. If you're listening to me, you're either on the internet or you're listening in your car or maybe at home. You're in Martin County.
Right.
A delightful place to live. And some say the construction has been getting a little bit too much here in terms of filling up all vacant land. But it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I got no complaints. And this is where the radio station is. We're at the foot of the Roosevelt Bridge. And this beautiful studio. It's all been remodeled. I'm probably one of the first people to actually get to see
the green
most
room.
of it. Yeah,
yes, the green room is nearly done, and they're going to redo the studio portion that we're in, and so that's exciting. And we've got a caller already on our newsmaker line.
Fabulous.
All right, go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hey, there's a familiar voice.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
I'm proud of myself for not using speed dial. This is the second time I've ever not used speed dial. The first time was when I called last time on the show.
And you pushed all the buttons all in the correct
order.
Yes,
I know. I did practically nothing.
So do you have any car questions?
Car questions?
Yes.
Can I ask you car questions?
I don't know anything about cars, so you guys take it away, enlighten me.
All right. Do you drive one?
Yeah, I do drive one. That's it. I just know how to drive the one that I drive.
Okay.
Manual transmission or automatic transmission?
Probably, I'm guessing automatic. It's probably automatic because I don't have to think. So
you don't have to shift, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
No stick shift. It has AI in it. If I'm changing a lane or something, there's a little blinker that gives me like I look back at the window, but I also have a secondary response from the AI. To like double check what I'm doing. Then there's like automatic stops. And then I even have a holographic display in front of me. I can change songs while still looking at the road. I can see if I'm at a speed and I'm accelerating too fast, the AI will calculate the speed of the car in front of me, and it'll show a big red sign if it knows that I'm going to impact the car unless I change my speed or decelerate immediately. So I have a lot of AI features built into my car.
Here's what's interesting. Frank and I, over the course of the last several weeks, have been discussing about changing some of our show and adding a third guest speaker with us. Quite regular. Boy, you'd be one of the best guests I'd ever had. You're well versed, and you can talk the talk. You know what I mean?
But I'm not talking the talk. I don't know anything about cars. I'm just talking.
Well, you're doing a good fake out job.
So you understand how to use the technology and how the technology interfaces with the driver, and you're able to use that and understand how to marry the technology with what you're trying to accomplish, right? And
you get to accomplish more of that.
Yeah, it becomes because I'm from a digital generation. Right. We were born and raised with the hands and iPads in our hands. we see technology as a part of ourselves. It is like an appendage. I've told Mr. Frank this. My phone, I physically feel when it's not with me. I know it's like it's a part of me. It's like a third hand
Some
or a
people
third
call that
eye.
transhumanism.
I think a third eye is better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, third eye,
So-
that's the, yes, absolutely. That's that gland that's shaped like a pine cone inside our
So
skull.
the AI in the car is like it's natural. It's just as natural as what I would, like breathing, the AI part of my car. I don't really see the marriage.
Right.
It's literally just an extension of what I can do thanks to something else that's facilitating it. But that's when it gets a little scary because if it doesn't work, I'm cooked. If I don't have like that AI map of where I'm going, I do know how to get to school. I do know how to get home. I do know how to get the radio without the map. But anywhere else, like I can get to Publix probably because it's really close to my house. But anywhere else, like anywhere new, I'm screwed. Like I could look at signs, but I'm not that confident. And a lot of kids my age are really bad with their navigational abilities because of this. They have a hard time, even though they know the difference between left and right, they have to think about it. It's not like snap, I got it right there. When you're driving, you have to know right away, left or right. You can't take time to think about it. You have to make the decision, especially in certain cases where, you're going really fast or on the highway, especially. You can't just stop the car and think, what's left or right?
Yeah.
And especially,
Let me ask
sometimes
you a
when I'm
question.
walking.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Mhm.
Do you speed? Are you a speeder?
So define speed, because I'm going to go a little bit over the speed limit, but define how many miles above the speed limit would you
the speed
consider a
limit's
speeder?
50. I don't know. You're doing 62. 12 over.
Oh, 50. Yeah, I go 10 miles above the
You
speed
do?
limit at most.
Oh,
10 miles at most.
okay.
All right.
Are you a late breaker or do you brake early when the traffic light turns red?
I do a slow deceleration. So if I see it turns red or it's turning yellow, I'll slowly decelerate. I don't just keep going and then snap. That's terrible.
Most people brake late and it destroys front
Yeah,
ends.
no, that's I don't want to have my nose hit the wheel.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So how are you on speed bumps?
Oh, speed bumps. So, okay, there's 2 speed bumps or 3 speed bumps at Bulldog Way pulling up
Yes.
to South Fork at my school.
Yes.
So I just go like really, really, if there's no one there, I'll just go really, really fast, stop, go over the speed bump, go really, it depends. It depends on my mood. 'Cause it's early in the morning usually when I see speed bumps.
Got it. So what, when you engage a speed bump, how fast are you going?
Oh, like the speed limit, maybe a little less, but the speed limit, maybe 1 or 2 miles over the speed limit.
You ever been in an accident?
No.
Thankfully,
Thank
no.
God.
Oh,
Yes.
That was a slow response.
Yeah. Well, she thought about it. But
Well,
so
because here's the thing, I have almost been in an accident once,
Okay. So
and it was close. It didn't happen, but it
there
was
is
very
a story.
close.
There is a
Very
story.
close.
There's a story.
So you feel your blood pressure go up, your sinuses clear right
Oh
out.
my God!
Right?
it was
Isn't that
terrible.
amazing when you have that rush of adrenaline? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was a U-turn. Obviously, it was going to be a U-turn.
Yeah. So what happens if you're driving along and you're supposed to make a right turn, you're in the right lane, but you missed your turn? What do you do?
So I've never had that problem because
Okay.
I usually go the same places.
Right.
But I think what I do is I would just go to the next right, maybe pull up. Because see, I need the AI navigation thing. So if I miss that turn, the navigation is screwed up. I have to reset it for the AI or whatever technology I'm using on my phone, my app. Some people use Waze. I use Google Maps. Anyway, so I'll just pull up at the first stop that I could stop at, a plaza, whatever, and I'll just reset the map and go on another route. Or there was one time, it was one time I missed one, but I was at a place where I could easily make a 3-point turn and go back. So I was just lucky where it happened, but that's pretty much what I do.
Okay.
Oh, fabulous.
All right. Very
Well,
good.
your great radio show just started back up, and I had a great caller.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, thanks for calling, and thanks
Absolutely.
for giving us a little bit of thought about how you function in your car. So just a suggestion: when you do approach a speed bump, this is what I tell my wife to do. Pretend like you're stepping over it gently. Because if you hit it too hard, if you go over too hard, too fast, then a a business card from belongs to Todd Harris might pop out from a
Yes.
machine in front of you,
Yeah.
and it'll direct you to one of his 2 shops in Stewart or in Palm City,
That's right.
and then you can get your front end alignment. Which what happens when you address the speed bump too fast, you'll actually create some problems with the way the front end
The
is.
suspension components, ball
right,
joints,
right.
struts.
Yeah.
bent.
Yep.
So so they're designed to slow you down, but not to go over too quickly. So, anyways, just a little.
Frank and
pleasant
I also
reminder.
invite you to call another week, and here's your homework.
Yeah.
Figure out what your dream car is, dream color of your
I already
car.
know. I already
But
know.
no, they can't tell us. It's just
Can't-
next
that'll be
phone,
next
but
week.
Why can't I say it now?
No. Give us a hint. That's all. We want a hint, and then you're going to reveal. We keep everybody
Okay.
hanging on the end
Okay,
of
how
your
many
seats.
hints can I give? What kind of hint?
You can give us the manufacturer. That's all.
The manufacturer.
No, that's too much. No. I want to know.
That's already
I want
too
to know:
much.
is it a
That's
sedan?
all I know about it.
Is it an SUV or is it a sedan?
I mean, it's more along the lines of a limo, but it's not a limo, but it's
No,
it's
that's
big.
okay.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable.
Okay.
It's very, I don't like the fast. I like the luxury cars.
Well, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well
so
done.
now we're gonna have to. Everyone's gonna be thinking about this.
Yes.
We could have had a contest for crying out loud to
Yeah.
guess the car.
Guess the car. Yeah.
Well, next week you'll call in and we'll do the reveal and we'll have some lively,
Conversation. Yes.
and
Yes.
peppered discussion.
All right, what time next week? Because next week I have stuff like I have interviews to go to in Palm Beach, and
Okay.
It's always 5
we'll
o'clock.
text about it later. This
Yes.
is on air. No one needs to know what I do with my life.
There you go. Okay. Fair enough. We'll text about it and we'll nail down a time for next week. Sounds good.
Super duper.
All right, sweetie. All right. Well, thanks for calling. And all right. Stay safe out there.
Hey, thanks. You too.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. There you go. That's Amira Meehan.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
First 2 minutes and we had a call.
Ah, yes.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Whoops.
That's
And we
nice.
got another caller.
That's nice.
Holy cow. And the magic continues. You're on the air. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, this is Tamara.
Hey, Tamara. How are you?
Hi.
Great. I loved that caller.
Isn't she amazing? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to mention, I think she mentioned South Fork.
She
Yes.
goes to South
And
Fork.
at one time I had figured out how many speed bumps you would go over in a month's time if you go to South Fork or
Mhm.
drive that or do the car line or you're a student, teacher,
Mm-hmm.
anybody. And I believe like on a monthly basis, you would be going over speed bumps about 240 times.
Good night. Wow. That's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
That's a lot of action
Yeah.
on your suspension. Yeah.
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 Wow.
And there's a lot of neighborhoods that have so many speed bumps. And
Yes.
so if you really calculate it, how many times your car is going over these speed bumps,
Right.
kind of damaging to the vehicle. But
It is.
I think everybody's suspension is doing pretty well at South Fork. I don't know, but
Well, it's
Not always.
yeah, but
yeah, but
That's why
I
we-
just think it's
Well,
very interesting.
think we
so
should
when you
plant
think
a-
about it.
plant a kiosk during the most notable offending speed bumps,
Yes.
and with some information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can sightsee and go visit them.
Well, my guess for her dream car
Yes.
is Cadillac Escalade, maybe.
Ooh,
But,
cattle.
yeah.
That's
okay.
That's my guess.
Okay.
So-
All right. We'll find out. That's a
Okay.
That's a
we'll find
good
out
guess.
next week.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you're the lucky winner. We'll find out.
Right. But I really enjoyed her call.
We did too.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Tamara.
Okay. Have a
Thank,
great evening.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye bye. All right.
Huh?
We're 2 for 2.
We don't have to
All-
do
all-
Frank, we don't have to do anything.
No.
Turn the lights on, turn
we'll-
the radio station
We
on,
let
and
the
that,
we'll let the ladies run the show,
Hey,
right?
I'm in.
Right?
I'm in.
That would be wonderful.
But it's sure nice in here.
Yeah.
Your studio.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well,
indeed.
it's always been world headquarters, but it's the new and improved world headquarters.
Right.
So
Indeed. Indeed.
take a break and come back and
We've got we could do that.
no, I got content. I got all kinds of good stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
right. All right.
Let's get into it. Remember, if anyone remembers listening to me, well, I'll give you some background.
Mm-hmm.
A year and a month ago, I went up to Massachusetts and went to Tesla school training and had the ability then certified to work on them, buy parts. And when I came back, I bought a used Tesla, a Model 3 2023.
From Hertz, right?
With 38,000 miles on it.
Okay.
39,000. I've had it for a year and a month, maybe just a year, but a year. And I can tell you all kinds of things about the car that I discovered over time, where things need to be improved, where they don't. But it's been an easy experience. I've only had 2 repairs, 2 things I've done. One was an annoyance repair, and the other was a failure of a part. The first, a nuisance on the doors, on most doors on vehicles. If you look close, there's an upper and a lower hinge, but in the middle, they call it the bootstrap, and it's what keeps the door from hyperextending when you open the door, and it also dampens the closing of it so it doesn't just free hinge in. There's resistance as it closes. It's the bootstrap. It's a hinged plastic device on most vehicles.
Okay.
On the Tesla, for some reason, it was just a defect in the design or manufacturer. I think both. They've made all kinds of creaking and racketing noise. You think that you were in a jalopy, an old rusty car. And it was just a boot strap. And I replaced that on the driver's door to get rid of the noise. Okay. Which is a nuisance, not functionality, just annoying.
Now, is that difficult to change out?
You have to pull the door panel off of the car, and it bolts in. It bolts into the door, and then it bolts to the chassis or the A-pillar.
Got it.
Down as it runs down the front or side of the vehicle, which is the A-pillar. For listeners, is the vertical line drawn from the bottom of the doors in the front up through the windshield frame. That's your A-pillar. And
well, good description. Yes.
Yeah, that's your A-pillar. And actually, one of the topics I was going to talk about is, do you know what a third member is on a car? Third member.
No. Pray tell, what is a third member?
A third member is if your differential or rear axle assembly has a removable center differential, it's called the third member.
Okay.
Anything that's driven by a device, an engine that produces power, it's a member that is part of it. So there's a second member too on a car. That's the transmission.
Okay.
The first member would be the engine.
Right. Okay. Engine, right. Transmission, differential.
An odd word that doesn't sound with what you're trying to describe.
Right.
The member doesn't fit.
But it's
membership. It's connected to it.
It's the descending order of how the power is transmitted.
And then we'll throw this in. Then you have a cross member.
Ooh.
And a K member.
I hate when that happens.
You think you got it all understood, and then I threw another couple out there.
I was dialed in until you hit me with
how you get cross member and K member. And we'll talk about that later, but there's more. There's more to that story.
Oh, gee whiz.
Yeah, we can keep going on that.
Okay.
It's crazy. So the car, I've one major repair. I guess it was major. I believe it was around $400. My year car, 2023 and forward. My year and back has lead acid 12-volt battery for the base operating system of an electric car.
All right.
Electric cars don't, for the most part, operate the wires, the gauges, the electronics operate off a 12-volt system, not the high-volt battery system that drives the motor and to propel the car. It's different.
Right.
They've always been different. Mine is a lithium, small, looks nothing bigger than a half a dozen eggs stacked up 3 times.
Okay.
Cut a dozen eggs in half and then stack 3 of them up. That's what it's the size of. And in it it's 17 volts, 16 and a half, 17 volts, not 12 volts. And you have to program it. It has a computer in it.
Wow.
So you have to install it. And that was failing on my car. Just like you would have a dead battery on a regular gasoline internal combustion engine car that you would think of just traditionally.
Right.
It does have it. It's just mine was lithium and I had to buy it. And it's only made by you know who.
Yeah. The people who make the car.
You know who. And I think everyone knows who you know who is. He's all over the news. You know who?
Yeah. You.
Yeah. He's dodging around.
Yeah.
Can't be seen. He's moving so fast.
That's right.
But for some
Bobbing and
reason,
weaving.
there's a lot of money accumulating. A lot of money. Who says that? A lot of
A
money.
lot of money.
Donald Trump does.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yes. They found a lot
They sure did.
Yes.
And it's to the benefit
of all
of
the
our country. And we should all be proud that we're going to be able to get more bang for our buck. Just think if the money that they saved, if they do need to spend it, they could put it to good use.
Well, how about paying down the debt? That would be the
Paying down the debt. And what I was thinking is, like, if a natural disaster happens, just for say in the Carolinas, that you'd want to take care of them and not let them die.
Right.
And then try to take their land.
Yeah. There's that.
A bizarre situation. I don't understand. I don't have an answer.
No.
I can fix a car.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about. There is no fix.
No. Well, it's a long in the making.
It's Eisenhower warned about it.
He did.
And his farewell speech.
Yes. And it's coming to fruition.
He did. Great speech, by the way.
Yes.
Interesting man.
Yes.
So I've had 4 tires put on my car.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the new Hankook Eva ones. They're purely for EV. They have a foam inside to quiet the road noise because, electric cars are very quiet. So anything that you pick up on the outside through your tires, you hear. It's like a stethoscope.
Right.
So they make these ultra modern, all done with the CAD design. The tread is ultra quiet. It's got high carbon in the tires so they last, because EVs eat up tires because of the torque.
And because of the weight.
And I can tell you, these are the best tires I've ever. They're smooth, round, and they weren't that expensive. So if you have a Tesla out there and you want to get the best tires out there, come see me. We'll get you with the best tires, and we'll do a proper alignment on that Model 3 so you don't wear out those rear tires like you're doing right now, because I can guarantee you every one of them is.
I have seen some.
I know how to fix it.
I have seen some that are really sorry shape. Yeah.
You just come to Crown Car Care. I have 2 locations, great alignment machines at both, and we specialize in, one of the things we specialize in is maintenance. We sure know how to prolong the life of your car. Everything's getting expensive today. And, Martin County is one of the more expensive counties to live in. A little bit of maintenance on your car, people, and it prevents in the long run catastrophic event after catastrophic event. It's no guarantee, of course, but it's certainly the odds go way, way, way in your favor.
Right.
And I can tell you hands down from doing this my whole life, maintenance pays off.
Right.
Pays off.
Yes.
Yep. And you get to meet me.
Yeah. Even better.
And we want you to go where? Crown Car Care.
That's right.
We'd love for you to come by and be one of our
honored
guests or customers, however you want to word it. We'd love for you to be part of us. We got a cool fish tank at Cove Road. Christmas time, we put up all kinds of Christmas decorations. And then the county told me I had to take them down.
Oh, don't you hate when that happens?
Why would they do that?
That's bah humbug.
Doge, where's Dodge at? Doge, where's Doge? Where's that guy? Where's that one guy we talking about?
Right.
He needs to come over.
So 781-8000. If you're thumbing around looking for the phone number, it's going to be
or 283-4707. 283-4707 or 781-8000. People have tried to buy that number.
Oh no,
it
rolls off your tongue.
It actually, once you start the 7, it just finishes itself.
It does. It just does. Indeed,
just like how we did. We finished the job well, and we do it on time.
Right.
And we do it right.
So a good friend of ours, John, always refers to you and me as Click and Clack.
Oh, yes, he does.
And so they got me thinking, because I'm definitely neither Click nor Clack, but you are the grand poobah of automotive knowledge. And I just like to throw in little nuggets of things the color commentary, let's call it that. But our 2 friends from Boston that had the honored Click and Clack show did many episodes, some of which you can watch and listen to on YouTube. And we thought, and we're going to do this later in the show, but we thought we would play a snippet from these storied shows from the past, and see how the automotive framework of thinking may have changed over the years, and where an answer that was given yesterday may not be the same answer today.
Exactly. Oh, this sounds fun.
So it's
kind of a fun little game.
We'll test your automotive knowledge, and we'll have some fun along the way. So,
this is great.
Right?
Boy,
right?
this is you. Wow, I want to be here. No, I always do. But
But in the meantime, we're going to pay some bills. So we're going to take a notable timeout and we'll be right back. So stick with us. All right, we're back.
these headphones and mics are nice. This is just nice setup, man.
Yeah.
I like the digs.
Yeah. So welcome back. You are listening to Crown Car Care, the Power Hour. And we're on the second half of that right now. And we've got, what else we got going on?
Oh,
yeah.
we're going to go next into oil change intervals and why it just needs to be discussed.
Okay. All right.
And it's,
It's
anything,
important.
I talk about other than just like news and information, there's generally a reason that there's a benefit to the end user. Like when we talk about stuff, I'm trying to make it so that what you own, your product, your transportation,
Get the value
is
out
preserved
of it.
and
Yes.
kept. And everyone's different. Some people release them and
Right.
get rid of them.
Right.
They're not really. Just like if you don't like tacos, you're not going to go to a taco stand.
Right.
But my fit isn't there. But 70-80% of the world it has and owns a vehicle. So we talk about these things to your benefit, not to mine.
Mm-hmm.
My benefit comes when I see
Happy
satisfied
face.
customers
Mhm.
that are really not, the word isn't thankful, but they feel
They feel-
comforted
and-
that knowing that it was done right, and they
Mhm.
feel comforted, or there's a trust that
Mhm.
is built,
Mhm.
and that's what I have with my customers.
Mhm. Mhm.
All of our customers at both locations and all the employees there. There's nothing. We take customers home. I'll take you home in the morning if you need a ride. We need to find you a car. All kinds of things we do. If you have a bigger repair and there's a lot on your family's budget, we have discrete credit that will get you paid for the repair, and no one knows about it. It's behind the scenes, so there's
Nice.
not an embarrassing moment at the counter.
Right. That's nice.
Because you could be a successful person
and you have a
and you
bill
could
that
be
you
whacked
just-
over the head with 2 or 3 family bills that you just came out of nowhere, and
Right.
it clean clock. And
Yeah, you just can't
remember,
have to budget for it. Yeah.
what our parents told us about saving for a rainy day, or at least having 2 or 3 months salary. Sometimes that's undoable.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it just can't happen.
Right.
So you have to balance things, and that's why we offer and have companies that we work with that give you credit to get your repair done.
Mhm.
The guarantee, the warranties, of course, still with us, and it's silent, behind the scenes, and easy.
Nice.
And there's no cost to it. That's what's good. There's nothing in it for me other than seeing you smile, getting your car fixed.
Nice.
So give us a call if you are in that type of situation and don't know where to turn.
Right.
Because a lot of people they know they need to fix it.
And you have all the popular oil choices on hand.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I stock so much oil.
Lucas oil.
All different types,
Yes.
not only just Lucas. I
Valvoline.
have big, probably 50-gallon or maybe 500-gallon big tanks stacked up to the wall with all the different types of name brand oil, depending on the grade, the rating, right? European oil is different than oil that's SAE for this country or North America. Your Europe cars made in Europe, different requirements, and you can ruin a Volkswagen on a diesel Volkswagen or certain engines if you don't use the right. I think it's ILSAC is the International Oil Consortium that grades and rates oil. They have a different system. So if you don't have something that passes a height or hardness test, so you don't get galling on the camshaft or lobes or followers or anything like that. If you use the wrong oil on a European car, you can trash the motor.
Not a good plan.
And that's it's just not so simple. The oil is not just oil. There's people with degrees in it. It's
an integral part of the mechanical system.
But in and of itself is a whole system that has. You could do oil shows on or radio shows on oil. For crying out loud, and you wouldn't run out of content forever.
Because it's
just so complicated,
right?
And it's changing. You've noticed that, Frank, oils are thin today. Zero, Toyotas and some Hondas 0 weight when it's cold. 0 W, whatever 10.
Well, I remember many years ago when Mobil came up with the
Mobil One,
Mobil One, and that had to be the introduction of the big sea change in the way oil is presented to consumers.
Oh yeah. Upscale but quality.
Yes.
Yeah. I find, at least in what I see in my world, which is Martin County with Crown Car Care, I see people want things fixed correctly.
Yes.
It's a big investment for a car. Cars today, a replacement pickup truck is $80,000 if you buy a 4-door, and everyone in Martin County has 4 doors with the nice seats and buttons and everything. So it's talking 80 to 100 grand. Yeah. But maintain it.
Right.
Or don't go by them oil intervals on your car. I mean, you can use them as a guide, but I'll tell you right now, you want to change oil every 6,000 miles. Synthetic, whatever, 6,000. No one even uses regular oil anymore.
Yeah.
It's all synthetic or semi-synthetic. It's just the whole game's changed. It's just different.
Yeah.
There's no regular oil anymore. There is, of course, on classic cars, but then you use ones with higher zinc content and specialty oils that help preserve the original engine. So that's changed too, and that's a whole topic of discussion for oil.
Wow.
But the interval needs to be what my nose says, what my eyes tell me, and what I read and listen and uncover and flesh out. Every 6,000 miles, change your oil, or twice a year, every 6 months, and do it, and make sure you go to a place that gets a thorough look over of the car. Always, it's important.
Rotate the tires.
You have to sniff around and look.
The shocks.
You have to. Do you want anybody doing that, or do you want it's advanced stuff, guys? It's computers, wires, steering apparatuses, electric motors. You want someone that knows what they're doing.
Yes,
it's important.
Yeah.
On certain things, it's not important. If you're an orange inspector that grades them for Publix, it's important, but it's not that important, right? The world it's not that important,
right? If orange is bad,
it is to the company that grades them and to that employee, but it's not that important,
right? If you get a sour orange, you pitch it and grab another one.
$100,000 vehicle, and you put the wrong oil in or do something bad.
Yeah,
it's not good.
That's a lot of oranges.
Maintain your car at the highest professional level you can afford and do. But there is a minimum oil changed every 6,000 miles, and all the other fluids and liquids need to be identified, looked at, and inspected.
So if you do some major engine work on a vehicle where you've tore it down and you've changed out some components inside the engine, and of course the customer gets an oil change as part of that whole
correct
thing. So what do you think is a good, my thinking is when you've changed some significant parts inside of an engine, maybe after just a few hundred miles is a good idea.
That is correct. Couple of
change-
weeks, 2 weeks, you want
Yeah.
to come back and get all that oil out and
Right.
and the filter, let it all drain out, spend a little extra time letting that oil come all out.
Yes, and then because there might be a little shavings,
And
little-
it will create
particulates.
havoc on a
Yes.
bearing.
right.
You pull that bearing cap off and it'll be all scratched and gorged up. So,
Right.
but maintenance, it's not just fluids either. It's looking at the rubber, the belts, the hoses, the filters. I mean, the list, again, people have degrees in automotive technology and they specialize in sub levels. It's gotten a different level. Automotive, it's changed now.
Yeah.
It's rising up in that skill set of what it takes to be a top star and a performer and do it effectively and efficiently. Crown Car Care, we do. I got good people,
Nice.
but starts with me. I have to be a good technician, and that's one of the requirements I put on myself. So
Nice.
2 locations. Come visit us.
Yes. 781-8000. We're going to take a regulation timeout. And when we come back, we want you to put your thinking caps on because we're going to do a little click and clack revisited when we return.
This is fun.
Yeah. So stick with us. Okay. All right. As advertised, here we go. This is going to be a little retro here for you. So a little bit of click and clack and one of their callers and what their answer is and what our answer is. So in the remaining close of the show, we'll see if we can get this information in there. So here we go.
This is Karen from Boise, Idaho.
Karen with a K.
Yeah, with a K.
Boise.
Yeah, just like a regular Karen.
Just a plain old Karen. Good
yeah,
for
plain
you.
old Karen.
A good traditionalist. Good.
What's up, Karen?
Well, we kind of have an unusual problem. I have a Nissan pickup truck, and this happened about a year and a half ago. I guess it's more like a nuisance than a problem because we've been dealing with it for a year and a half. But when it gets cold, like at night, if it drops down to freezing or even in the 40s, the parking lights automatically turn on. And this happened. I'll tell you, this happened when we moved here from Southern California, because we don't worry anymore about getting our car stolen. So we got these Viper car alarms removed, and it seemed to start happening after that. And we took back to the place that took the car alarms out, and they said, well, don't turn your parking lights on at night. And they thought that we were leaving the door open. That was why the battery was running out. And so what we've been doing since then is just taking out the fuse, and we drive without the fuse, except if we're driving at night, then we put the fuse in and remember when we get home to take it out,
What a pain in the butt that is.
But the alarm that you had in there, when the alarm was activated, would flash the parking lights, would it not?
Yes, it would.
Yeah, they didn't unhook it.
But when you first moved to Boise, you didn't get the car alarm uninstalled immediately.
No, it's like a week or.
And during that week, you did not have this problem.
No, but actually, we did have a problem because they started sort of going off randomly.
The alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we thought, well, that was a good enough reason to also to take them out.
Well, you may need to solve this. You may need a full-scale electrical fire.
That'll work.
Yeah, well, that will certainly fix it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
as long as you're covered by the adequate
I mean,
insurance.
if they are right, I suppose it's entirely possible that the headlight switch is faulty. Is this the kind that's mounted on the stock?
All right.
Where do you turn the headlights on? Are they turned on?
Yeah, it comes out from the steering wheel.
Yeah,
the stock
from the
thing?
steering column called the
Okay.
stock.
Yeah, I suppose that's one possibility. The switch could be lazy, and I suppose under the right
All right.
circumstances could turn itself
So
on.
do we
I
have
don't
we
know
heard
what those
enough of?
Yeah, I have.
circumstances are.
Okay. All right. So because in the interest of time, we're going to end there and then come up with our own solution.
I don't think it was that long ago, but I think it was fair enough. I bet maybe 15, maybe 20 years ago, I would think.
Hmm.
You know, that
Yes,
I'm trying
the
to
episode.
date.
Mhm.
What was her name again?
Karen.
Well, there's a lot more Karens today than there
to work back then.
then.
Yes. I noticed
Here
that.
come I'm supposed to be.
That's another story. Yes. Okay.
But from the car, and if that was presented today
Mm-hmm.
at my shop,
Mm-hmm.
one change is most vehicles today have some sort of anti-theft built into them.
Ah.
Most. I mean, it's not every car, but I'd say for the most part, there's some type of anti-theft, whether
Right.
it's with the ignition system and the key system, or with what they call a perimeter alarm, and that is what they're referring to with the Viper. Viper was a big name, but a good name.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about the installation on those alarms,
Mm-hmm.
and a poor installation will give a good alarm a bad name.
Yeah. As with all products.
Just like a water pump will give a water pump a bad name, but if it's not put on properly and torqued and the surfaces are cleaned on the engine block, like we do at Crown Car Care,
Uh-huh.
we do it right.
Yeah.
May take longer. Oh, it's not done yet. But when you get back, it's done right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing you
Sometimes a
wanna do
little
is-
bit of being upset that it's not exactly done at the 501.
Mhm.
Just go with it. Better product.
Yeah.
You
Better
want-
result.
And the cars are so complicated. So
Yeah.
I've changed on how I have to even speak and talk about cars.
Right.
It's different.
Right.
It's changed. COVID started that change, and I'm really seeing the change
Mm.
now. It's different. Parts are very expensive, Frank.
Yes. Yes. So that's interesting. So really,
But let me expound
yeah,
on it. So
okay.
the flashing light problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
How is that different today than then?
Right.
Okay. When you hook a Viper alarm, they always go into the parking lights because they flash with the headlights. So your parking lights are tapped into that Viper. I don't know if I would go with the Viper more so than the switch. Cold weather is changing something. Right?
There's
So something has to change. I can tell you that, like, give an example. I had a Isuzu gas cab over landscape truck.
okay.
And halfway through the day, when they shut the key off, it would stay running the car.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
You turn off the car and
And it
then
would stay running.
so it didn't get the closed signal on the
Well, but if you just happen to bump the turn signal switch, it shut off. Just like that. It's just-
Wow.
okay. You know what it was? On the turn signal switch, there is grease. And over time, as the turn signal switch wears, it's commercial, there's a little metal. It's metal gets suspended in the grease, and it gets hard when it gets colder because it gets harder and denser. The metal comes closer together, and it was taking not a short, but a feed from a constant on power was feeding up into the harness for the ignition switch and the turn signal switch,
Good God.
originating from the turn signal switch, which had a hot all the time for the emergency flashers. Think about that. Kept the car running.
It's
That
amazing.
weird.
That is
I found
very-
it, but that was it. And you know what the fix was? Taking metal contact cleaner and compressed air and blowing it out and cleaning out everything, and then putting some good fresh lube on there.
And that was it.
Fixed.
Fixed.
Next victim. No, it takes people. He's
But
been
the
all
diagnostic
all
work
over
is-
town trying to find someone.
But the
to fix it.
diagnostic work is everything.
It's more than everything.
Yeah.
You can't exist as a business.
Yeah.
You can't fake it no more.
Yeah.
It's so complicated. You can't even like give a good line anymore
Yeah.
about like there's a lot of technicians that fake it. No,
Yeah.
can't do that no more.
No.
Everything's
no.
too complicated.
Right.
Everything's a computer program.
Mhm.
I'll tell you. Okay, talking about add-ons. I'll give you another live example. Tow truck. the DEF, which is the fluid that makes the pollution less for nitrous oxides, failed.
Okay.
And it went into limp mode, and the only way to do it was to program the computer, but it had one of those locator things on there so they keep track of their tow trucks. Well, it contaminated the signal, and the computer bricked. Took me 3 days to unbrick it and get it programmed again, all because of an add-on.
Okay, so for our uninformed listeners, explain what a brick is.
It is this big, heavy thing that sometimes smoke comes out of. You know it's a dead brick if you smell things and see smoke coming out of that module. You've taken all the life out of it.
Yeah.
And that was the smoke signal of the last right. And then the smell starts.
Whoa, that's when they elect a new
the
pope.
rotting corpse of the module.
Yeesh.
So this module was bricked, and it contaminated the bootstrap software on the initial VIN validation on the programming, all caused by a DLC add-on that was tapped into the DLC and the data link for the high-speed CAN network. And it glitched while it was programming the unlocking procedure for when it was in limp mode for the diesel, and it went bad.
Wow.
It went bad.
So would you just have to change the whole lot of it?
No, you have to remember all the software. I use all the factory software, and there's
Right.
gateways, and I have to use 2 means of security and authorization through Google. It's highly secure because if you remember many years back, they were stealing Jeeps remotely. So the security on Jeeps and Chryslers and Dodge is second to none. It's probably the tops in the world. Highly advanced. So I have all the credentials, and I program the computers through FCA or Stellantis. Okay. And the pipeline got glitched, and it
you just kind of reactivated the software.
I had to go in back door and do stuff Todd way. No, I was a mad scientist, but I got it done.
Yeah.
I did it because a new one's like $2,500, and I back ordered the computer. So,
I was talking to a colleague of mine at work the other day, and I was explaining some of the work that you do, because he's got an old Mercury car, and he loves the car, but it's been acting kind of weird. And I says, well, maybe, give Todd a call. So he might
call
be
us on the radio.
He could be a future caller. Yes.
Oh.
But anyways, I was explaining to him some of the work that you do I said to him, I says, Todd is not afraid. He tries to use OEM parts as much as he can, but when he can't, and it's an old vintage model, he's not afraid to go rooting around into the junkyard or used car parts.
Oh, I do
it. To extract what you need in order to get the job done.
Yes.
Right.
I could do a whole show on what I see in junkyards today as compared to what I used to see.
That'd be fun.
Oh, I'd love to give a tour. I'd love to have a lunch on a Saturday where we give a couple tours, you and me, Frank.
Right.
We take them out like a Disneyland tour.
Yeah.
Tickets would sell out because once they found out how fun this is.
Oh yeah. But they have to wear all safety gear.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'll have a PA with a mic, and we'll go around the different cars uncovering things.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Indeed.
And you'd be right there in it.
Oh yeah.
Of course. It's click and clack. Updated to 2025.
Updated indeed. So
the light switch is still valid.
Yes.
What is added on as complexity is body control modules can cause that to happen with the change in temperature. A module
because of course, when in hot weather things expand, and in cold weather things contract. So things that ordinarily wouldn't touch each other.
Yes, you have to think contracting, I think, is worse than expanding.
I think so. Yeah.
So when it gets cold, you have to think about what could be happening. And if you think about my turn signal switch, that would be when it would happen when it was cold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We got another caller. All right. Go ahead, caller. You're on our newsmaker line. Go ahead.
Hey, it's Mr. Devin. If you go on a junkyard tour, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I'm a gearhead.
It's so much fun, and we get behind the scenes.
And that would be like in a candy shop.
Right, a kid in a candy shop.
We'll get
yeah.
souvenirs.
It's like going to the old Chevy show and going to their flea market.
I would consider
And
it
seeing
akin.
stuff that that for old cars and this and that,
Yeah.
that you don't see all the time.
I would treat it like an archaeological dig.
So, I'm just in. Let me know.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I'll sign up for the
This
tour
is going
when
to
you let me
surface.
know.
It's
Well,
gonna,
when we get ready to do it, we'll announce it on the air.
I'm telling you,
and
it'd be fun.
Okay.
we'll let you know,
Have a
Deb.
great-
And we'll have lunch. I'll have some lunch there with us.
All right. Look at that. We'll even feed you. How's that?
Okay.
Okay. Can't beat that. All right. Thanks for the call, Deb.
Bye.
All right.
That's
bye.
Great.
We've had
we gotta do
three
it.
great ladies call us today. We hit the trifecta.
We did all women.
All women.
It's just great.
Now, I know there's some guys out there that are listening, but come on. But
next week they got to show us up.
yeah,
This is great though. We show filled with callers.
220-9788 220-WSTU. And you too could be on the air with us and give us your car problems, and we'll give you some solutions, some shorthand thoughts. But we only got a couple minutes left.
One to
4 minutes
elaborate
left.
on was
Yeah.
these oil change intervals and how key it is for maintenance. And it's changing.
Yeah.
Maintenance is becoming the bigger portion of what you have to spend your money on these expensive vehicles. You have to do this because it becomes unmanageable, the breakages and things. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And you need to be aware of what's common to your car, the shortfalls. Like, do you need to do a timing belt interval earlier? Do they have a breather PCV system like on Volkswagen and Audis that have big issues? At Crown, we'll talk to you about that stuff because it's very important. If your car's prone to, a $150 maintenance item that will prevent catastrophe, and we can warn you about it before it happens. Boy, what a good decision you've made, and we've offered good advice.
Right.
Good advice and a good decision. It just works.
Yes.
And that's how Crown Car Care works. We give good advice, solid advice.
Yes.
And when things get super expensive, sometimes we have to start whittling things down and sharpening our pencil and making it work for you.
Right.
It might not be the perfect situation that the outcome is, but at least the outcome at my shops are always safe and it works. It might not work the best because we needed to pare down some pricing and on maybe some front end work that we could put on the tomorrow file, and 2 oil changes from now you could do then, which is another plan that I help many people with. If you have a car that you haven't done anything to, come in and visit me and we'll get you started on. It's just like going to the dentist, and you just need to do this. It's so important. If you have a direct injection engine, and you probably don't even know, just because it's not generally known, most people don't know, you bet we need to be doing upper intake cleanings to get all the buildup and just grum. It's just horrible what builds up on the intake valves, and it's so important. It'll destroy a motor. It's just bad, and it needs to be done.
Yeah. And my wife, she's taken your advice, and now every third, fourth fill up, she uses the higher octane fuel.
Good.
And she
It's
says
good.
the car drives like it's lighter.
It
floats.
Remember when we did the fuel service a year or two?
Yes.
About a year ago or whatever, and she noticed it.
Oh, yes, definitely.
It is noticeable.
Yes.
Some of these services that we do are noticeable.
Indeed. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of our show. And tune in next week right here on the Crown Car Care Hour.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.